Equal rights, equal fights. So here she goes, and boom! It was at that very moment that this girl realized that she should have joined the Air Force. I have compiled the best men versus women in combat clips ever. Let's talk about men versus women in the Marines. The fact that only 7% of the Marines are women, it's crazy that she has to basically go against men because there's not that many other women. And she actually seems like she's holding somewhat of a fight against him until he takes her down. Of course that's gonna happen, and they're not gonna have any empathy for you because it's the Marines. Their job is literally to protect our country. And in the 1990s, the Department of Defense made it more common for women to fight in combat. They're going on combat ships and flying combat airplanes. It's just absolutely insane. And I want to say thank you to anybody watching this video that has ever served. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here, please become a friend subscriber by clicking the red subscribe button. You guys know how to do it. 30% of women in the military actually have admin roles, or they do things like medical roles. And so it is just insane to see more and more women being involved in combat because they're going against men. And when it comes to the military, it shouldn't really matter if you're a man or woman. It really just matters on who can defend our country the best. Before we see some more shocking clips, you guys need to know that this video was made possible because of Real Good Deeds, which is a company that I am so grateful for. It's a coaching program for real estate investors and like-minded people who are looking to grow their assets and their wealth, also while helping the community. Please go to realgooddeeds.com and join the Diamond Network to be a part of that coaching program, but more on that later. So here we have another male Marine versus female Marine clip, and I have seen this clip before. I feel so bad for this girl that they actually had her go against a man, but these women don't want to be separated from men, and a lot of people say equal rights, equal fights. So here she goes, and boom! It was at that very moment that this girl realized that she should have joined the Air Force. Like 30% of other women who join the military actually go into the Air Force. And the problem is that it's super hard to get into the Air Force. You have to be extremely smart. 42% of women join the military in general because they felt like there wasn't many other job options. And so they're actually joining the military for different reasons than men are. They might be doing it to protect their country, you know? Actually, women, we don't even want to fight as much as men do. In fact, more women than men in the military said that Afghan and Iraq, the wars there, should have been avoided and that it wasn't worth it. And so women, we just naturally don't even want to fight as much as men do. Women report emotional trauma 47% of the time, whereas men only do it 42% of the time. So women report more emotional trauma, yet women are also less likely to have fought in combat with somebody who has been killed, and they're also less likely to be deployed. So even though women aren't doing in general those extreme roles that the men do, they're more likely to report emotional trauma, and it just shows that we have different strengths. After this girl got hit, 3 Marine officers ran over to see if she was okay. And if this would have been a guy getting knocked down that hard, everybody would have just laughed and called him a wimp. And so it just shows that everybody treats men and women differently, just naturally. And it's not about how we're raised up. It's not like, oh, society forces us to treat women differently. We need to be treated differently because we're built differently and we think differently. So I feel really bad for that girl. So here's another Marine woman who challenges this man, and instantly she's getting like punched in the face. And you can already tell in a lot of these fights that these guys aren't even trying their hardest. This woman is so tough. Any woman who goes in the Marines is so tough to have to deal with your period and all these. Look, she's just getting knocked out instantly. Okay, and she gets knocked up and she stands back up. You can tell that this woman is so tough, but she's getting punched so hard in the face repeatedly. Oh, poor thing. So, and this guy is not even trying his hardest. You can tell he's not even putting his whole body into it, and she's still getting hit repeatedly and repeatedly. She just can't even stop it. She can't. Oh man, she literally got knocked down. and at the end of the fight she refused to shake his hands. But I mean, what was this woman thinking? I guess sometimes we forget that men are just so much stronger, and then it really does take sometimes getting punched in the face maybe to realize that, wow, maybe I shouldn't be in this situation right now. Because of our small size, weak muscles, and body fat, it's hard for women to beat men in fights. Please make sure you become a friendscriber by clicking the red subscribe button. He joined and he hasn't regretted it since. That clip that we just watched is probably the reason why women in the military are 2 times more likely to be diagnosed with mental health conditions, because they're going against all these huge, powerful men, these transformers, and they're just not able to compete, and that might be a huge hit to morale. And that's something that these women are probably never going to be able to live down. And the truth is competing against guys it's hard. And every time I fought against a man, I just am thinking in my head, please go soft on me, because I know you can knock me out, okay? And so here we have 2 younger people. They look like they're maybe about 13, and so before puberty there's no significant differences in strength in upper body and core and lower body, so I mean they're kind of even. But the crazy thing is that men and women are actually so different that male embryos actually need more nutrients and they eat more when they are in the womb. And so it's just crazy that we are completely different from the moment of conception. And even though we kind of are on the same path, when puberty hits around, well, for girls it's a little bit earlier. Girls it's from 8 to 13 and boys is from 9 to 14. But when boys turn 14, they just get so strong and they just become men, you know? And yes, women do mature a little bit faster, and so I mean that also is kind of somewhat of a disadvantage, because then our emotions are all crazy and stuff. And anyways, it's just like after 12, boys and girls should just not compete together. I know in karate tournaments, they have them mixed to start out. So if you're like 6 years old, they're gonna put you against a boy too. And you know, you have all your helmets on and stuff. Okay, so here we have a girl who is fighting against a man. He literally, he gave her so she tried to sweep him and missed, and this guy literally was fighting with one leg. He was basically one-legged, and she tried to kick him, and she knocked herself down. So this guy's body was so strong and firm that when this lady tried to kick him, she fell down. She knocked herself down with her own kick. That is how much stronger men are than women. And it's like society still just doesn't get it. I don't understand. Here we have a girl and guy wrestling against each other, and as you guys know, these sports are just so intimate, and for a guy and girl who have never met to just start rolling around on the floor is just honestly so awkward. That's the reason why I never got involved in jiu-jitsu or wrestling, because it's just too close, it's too personal, it makes me uncomfortable. Some people get freaked out just about being barefoot, and so this amount of intimacy is just, it makes me so nervous. And the fact that on top of all of that, it's a boy versus girl is just kind of like, what are you guys doing? Who allowed this? Where are your parents? Was there nobody in your division? What happened? Because sometimes that's the reason why they compete against each other, is because, oh, like, he's literally grabbing her butt. But okay, it was just a part of the sport. It's okay. And I mean, that's a part of the game. I mean, you have to like be okay with being like grabbed and stuff, because I mean, it's literally like grappling, and oh, like he's just like grabbing her face. This looks so uncomfortable. This makes me uncomfortable watching it. I can't imagine being there. And so, like, look at their positions. It's like awkward. She looks like the exorcist. She is possessed. She's doing that backwards walking right now, and she's twisted all up, and she got beat so bad. She is gonna be so sore after that. Guys, make sure you become a friendscriber, and also please go to realgooddeeds.com if you guys want to learn how to become an excellent investor in real estate. I highly recommend that you join the Diamond Network. We do weekly calls every Monday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we hold each other accountable. We look at each other's deals. So if you have some really great real estate deals and you want other investors to see it, it. It's a great opportunity to learn, to take some courses, and become the best version of yourself and help the world, help other people get housing, help yourselves get housing, because I know that it can be very overwhelming. And so this is just a great opportunity to get personalized help, to get real estate for yourself, or to buy some investment properties. It's just so exciting, and I hope you guys know that majority of millionaires became so through real estate, and the people in this group are amazing. They're experienced investors and they're ready to help you. So I really hope that I can see you on those weekly group calls. It'll just be so amazing every Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching this video. Message me on Instagram and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Many people ask if a woman can beat a man in a fight. And just remember, they can, if his name is Chuck and he has no arms.